From Mark's Gospel, hear these words, which are not the ones that are printed in the bulletin. As Jesus left the temple, one of his disciples said to him, "Teacher, look, what awesome stones and buildings." Jesus responded, "Do you see these enormous buildings? Not even one stone will be left on another. All will be demolished." May God's blessing be added to the reading and the understanding of the word. So Jesus has gone to the temple. In Mark's Gospel, it's his first time there, or perhaps his only time there. He's gone to the temple to Jerusalem. In other verses of Scripture, he says later that if you tear down this temple in 3 days, it will be rebuilt again. And if you continue to read, this statement that Jesus makes about destroying the temple, about rebuilding it, this is what gets him killed. This is what he's charged with ultimately and has him killed, that he would say these things. And it's the temple. It's not quite Solomon's temple. It's the second temple built. But it's a powerful symbol. Herod had worked on it, it says, for 47 years to build it up. It's one of the wonders of the ancient world. People traveled from all over to come to see it. And they built it out of the most enduring thing they could find. They built it out of stone. But to use stone required a lot more effort. Ancient building materials, you built stuff out of wood and it lasted a couple generations. You built stuff out of mud bricks and it lasted a while. But if you built stuff out of stone, it was the most permanent thing people had. Until the Romans invented cement, it was the most permanent thing. Think about it. Stonehenge, thousands and thousands of years old. The pyramids, 4,000 years old. And other than some erosion, they look just like they did. The monuments of Athens and Rome built out of beautiful marble. But there are tremendous limitations to stone. You can only go so high, and you can only go so, the walls have to be so thick to sustain the weight. It was the Gothic cathedrals of Europe that mastered stone building to its greatest height with the arch and the flying buttress. But even that had its limitations, and many of the Gothic cathedrals are in danger of falling down. The temple in Jerusalem, though, was more than stones, more than just the rocks that made it. It was the home of God. The center of it all was the Holy of Holies, the place where God lived. But more than just that, it was the center of Jewish religious and political life. There was no separation of church and state. These things all came together, and they all were the focus in this Temple Mount. This building of stones was the source of national identity and pride. So when Jesus says they will all be thrown down, not one stone on another, that's a wow moment. That's a big threat. The people for whom the temple is a source of power and wealth, they don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. But Jesus recognized that the temple is a barrier. It's become a block for people in their relationship with God. It divides people. Some people are allowed in one area but not in another. Gentiles and Jews are separated. Men and women are separated. Only the best, only the good, only the righteous are allowed in to the inner courts. And Jesus says this is not good. And so all stones will be thrown down. In 66 CE, just shortly later, the Jews will start a revolt against Rome. There's a conflict between the communities, and they've had enough. And so they start a revolution. The problem is, to revolt against Rome doesn't make any sense. It's like Connecticut trying to revolt against the United States. This little place is going to go up against them. And they had the advantage. They started out, they won the first couple battles because they got the jump on them. And then the Romans said, okay, that's enough. They sent in 3 legions, their best generals, and they systematically crushed them. Those they didn't kill, they enslaved. And then in 70 AD, they finished off with the capture of Jerusalem. They'd been in a siege for years, a brutal siege where they were starving the people inside to death. And because there were 3 different factions inside Jerusalem, they were killing each other while they were killing the Romans on the outside. It was madness. Finally, the temple goes up in flames. The 9th Legion captures the center of the city, kills, it says, 60,000 or more, and runs and sells in slavery all the rest. And the 9th Legion destroys the temple so that you see what you see today if you go to Jerusalem is only the foundation and the rocks that were thrown off. The stones are thrown down. Use the phrase sometimes, it's set in stone to mean permanence. Nothing is permanent. In your life, sometimes you like to think you're permanent. I hear this all the time. I'm too old to change. Nonsense. Nonsense. Nothing is set in stone. In the season of Lent, we are called to closely examine our lives and what it is God calls us to be. There's a really good video that says this better than I can.
Ephesians 2:10 says that we are God's workmanship, that we're, in essence, His masterpiece. I don't know about you, but when I get up in the morning and look in the mirror, I don't see a masterpiece, you know? I mean, maybe a Picasso, you know? But I want to be a masterpiece. I want to be everything that God has created me to be. And so I go to Him in prayer and I say, God, do whatever it takes to get things out of my life that don't need to be there. Mold me into the image of your Son so that I can be your masterpiece.
Hi.
Whoa. Who are you?
I'm God.
No, you're not.
Yeah, you just said the person, here I am. That's how it works.
Oh, okay. If you're God, then make it snow in here.
You know, if I made it snow in here, it'd get kind of yucky, and I really don't want to do that.
See, you're not God.
Why do you say that?
God wouldn't say yucky.
Yes, I do. It's a Greek word.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. If you're God, what does Lamentations 15:9 say?
Lamentations is a very short book. It only has 5 chapters.
Why is it so short?
I was tired of lamenting.
Oh.
Yeah.
If you're God, who's going to win the World Series this year?
You know what? I'm not so much into playing games. Why are you so much into playing games?
You are God.
What gave it away?
You answered my question with a question.
I did? Yep, I do that. Don't I? I did it again. Step right up. Here we go.
Okay.
All right.
Hey,
Yeah.
what's this about?
These are the tools I'm going to use to make you into my original masterpiece.
Oh, okay.
All right?
Hang on.
Yeah.
I thought you were a carpenter.
That's my son. Here we go. Step right up. Here we go. All right?
Whoa.
Yeah.
How do you know what to chisel and what to leave?
I take out all the things in your life that aren't out of me, kind of like dead weight.
Ooh, speaking of that, could you chisel right in here? I just can't get rid of it. I mean, the other went away, but this, I've tried exercising, I've watched what I ate, I even did Pilates for a while. That was awkward. But if you could chisel,
All right,
right?
Can I talk or can I chisel? Talk, chisel, talk, chisel.
No,
talk,
chisel.
All right, most of my children just like to talk.
Not me. Bring on the chisel.
Here we go. All right. You have a lot of anger.
Ow.
Some pride.
Ow.
Compare yourself to others instead of me.
Ow.
You're lazy, but you pretend like you're really, really busy. You have a problem with lust.
Okay, time out. I do not have a problem with lust.
You don't have a problem with lust.
No, I can do it anytime I want. Okay. Wait. Maybe we could take a little time out. I think I'm doing pretty good.
You are doing good, but when you look in the mirror, who do you see?
I say me.
Okay, then I need to keep chiseling away because ultimately you and others need to see my son. Here we go.
Okay, hold on. Don't take this the wrong way. It's just that when I start looking more like your son, people get uncomfortable around me, you know? Even my friends at church, they're all like, oh, you're holier than thou. Why won't you do that, you know?
So what you're doing right now is you rather play God in certain areas of your life than for me to be God over your whole life.
I did not say that.
That's what you meant.
Yes, it is. It's hard to talk to you. You know everything I'm thinking. I'm just saying, you've done good work. Maybe we take a little break, a little time out. We'll come back to it.
What you're doing right now is so common. What you're doing right now is called control. Do you want to control things in your life or can I chisel? Control, chisel, control.
No, chisel.
Here we go.
Can we chisel where I want them?
That's called control.
Okay.
You've been holding on to this for a long time. You ready for this?
It hurts.
This hurts me more than it hurts you.
Ow! I don't think you understand this pain.
Don't talk to me about pain. I know all about pain. I sent my son to die on the cross for pain, for sin, but I also did it for another reason, to give you freedom. Do you know what insanity is? Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. And there are the things in your life, you even think back to high school, that you've been doing that do not work in your life, but you go to these empty wells whenever you're hurting, whenever you're angry, whenever you're lonely and tired, but they do not work.
No, okay. I'm thinking maybe
Your
we
thoughts
could...
are not my thoughts.
Oh, okay, but if we went another way,
Your
we
ways
could...
are not my ways.
Okay, well, look, I can't be good.
You can't be good. I've made you good. Be good. What?
Nothing.
What is it?
You wouldn't understand.
I, God of all the universe, wouldn't understand something one of my children has to say. Try me.
It's just... God, I've let you down so many times.
No, you were never holding me up. I hold you up with my victorious, righteous right hand, and don't you forget that. In this relationship, I hold you up.
Okay. Chisel away.
All right.
But just be prepared for what you're going to find in there. Because I know who's inside there. Because God, I get up every morning and I look at him in the mirror. And it is this scared little kid who gets up every day and tries to dress like an adult and act like an adult, but I can't. So just be prepared for what you're going to find in there.
You have listened to so many voices for far too long that are not of me. You think you're junk, don't you? You really, really, really think you're junk. Listen to me. I don't make junk. What does that say about me? How can I show you that my love for you has no boundaries? I know. Reach in your back pocket.
What?
Reach in your back pocket.
Why?
Are you arguing with me? Reach in your back pocket.
God.
Yes?
I was just saying, God, I'll do that right now.
You were just saying my name in vain.
You know what? It's a name, it's a saying.
It's more than a name, it's more than a saying, it's more than a bad habit. It's a name above all names. I want to teach you something about my name. Reach in your back pocket. You know what that is?
This is a page from a journal I had when I was younger. How'd you get this?
Hello?
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead, read it.
I love Angie Holland.
Other side.
Sorry. I married her.
I was there.
Oh, yeah. Dear God, today I am turning everything over to you. I'm not going to hold on to anything anymore. Your word says that you will make me your masterpiece and use me to do great things. I don't see how it's possible, but I want that with all that I am. So please do whatever it takes to make me what you want. I love you, God.
I love you too, Tommy. And I love you too much just to leave you where you're at. So this salvation that you hold, don't let it be some sentimental gush or some head knowledge. I want you to work it out in every detail of your life. And don't compare yourself to someone else, because that is just trivial nonsense. You are my original masterpiece. You are one of my workmanship, and you I find favor. This, don't look at this as a prison, but look at this as a father disciplines his child. A father disciplines the ones he loves.
I know, but it's going to be tough.
Yes, it'll be tough. But you bought into the lie thinking everything was going to be easy when you said yes to me. It's not how it works. I want you to do something. I want you to look out there and I want you to say, Tommy is God's original masterpiece.
Tommy.
No. The way you see yourself, or you yearn so much for others to see you. But the way I see you.
Tommy is God's original masterpiece.
Yes, you are.
And so are you. God doesn't make junk. You are an original masterpiece.
Is that hard to watch? Good. I want this to be the hardest Lent you ever go through. I want this to be the hardest Lent we ever go through. I want us to see that we are a masterpiece, full of grace, full of love. But the first thing we have to knock off is pride, isn't it? Because we think we're already there. So we say, no. What'll happen? It'll break, fall apart. This Lent, we'll work on a masterpiece together. Our lives as children of God. This Lent, together, we will examine our lives and make something beautiful. Children of God. Will you pray with me? Gracious God, this season, let us give up our pride and see ourselves as you would see us, full of life, grace, hope, love. This year, in this season, let us, in honesty, examine our lives and grow in faith